Before we started, we knew nothing about working with builders. We didn't know that somebody had to project manage the whole thing. We didn't know that there were shipments of things that needed to be coordinated. We knew nothing. Before we even started the demolition, we ordered all of our appliances to arrive, and they were just sitting in the room over there. It kind of just showed how out of our depth we were. Callum and the whole CJS team was really good and going, cool, don't worry about those for now. That's the last thing that goes in. We've got to do all these other things. Our understanding of how a building operation worked was nil, but CJS talked us through the whole thing, which was great. We were recommended them by one of our trades, and the reason that he said CJS was good is because they specialise in working with people who hadn't renovated before, so people who didn't necessarily understand the ins and outs and the ups and downs of what was going to be involved with a major renovation. So we were looking for someone to guide us through the process. Plus that recommendation was important because we felt like it was somebody that we could trust. Since using CJS, I think we would be a lot more confident going into a major project like this again, just because they talked us through the process from start to finish. And I think quite importantly, we understand the timeframes. Those are constantly changing. But if you have a good team working with you that keeps you updated and keeps your expectations realistic, then it's a lot more manageable. You can plan for different outcomes, I guess. One of the best things we found about working with CJS is that they had a lot of relationships already that we were able to draw on to get things done. For example, the work that we wanted done required some design work. The CJS team were able to recommend an architect who drew up plans. That architect worked really well with CJS. There was kind of a synergy there that meant things were a lot smoother. There was nobody butting heads. Right down through all of the trades, they were able to recommend plasterers, painters, gas fitters, everything. And also there were a couple of trades that we wanted to use that we had used before, and it was really easy to slot those guys in to the existing team. When we started our renovation, we were actually expecting our first baby. My wife was pregnant. We kind of said to Callum at CJS, this is quite a hard time frame. We can't shift the time frame of the baby. It was quite important that the CJS team were willing to work around our family expectations. There's not a date where you get handed your keys back and your renovation is finished. I think that's an important thing to understand. So what happened was there were things that were pushed out to after our baby arrived, but it was easy enough to say to the guys, we can't have anybody in the house doing work at this time because there's a baby sleeping. We can't be at the house at this time for whatever reason, and it just wasn't really a problem, which was helpful and took a lot of stress out as well. Any hesitation that we had would be around the unknown of undertaking a major reno. We didn't have any hesitation about working with CJS specifically. A lot of that hesitation came down to cost and what things were going to cost in the long run, whether things would blow out, whether we were going to run out of money. That was kind of put to rest because we did a fixed price renovation with CJS. So they said, cool, here's a maximum price of what it's going to cost. Obviously there's some headroom in there to account for price changes, but it gave us certainty that we knew what the project was going to cost. We knew that we could budget for it and portion that money off, and that took that stress and hesitation out of it. So that way of doing it, I would recommend. The biggest benefits of working with CJS for us have been, one, we actually have the exact house that we wanted. So bringing our vision to life has been one of the best things. Creating usable spaces. So now we have a house that works the way we need it to work. The third biggest benefit of working with CJS has been the ongoing support. So naturally things wear out, things change. You might have set something up to operate in a certain way, but once you actually use it practically, that's not how you need it to work every day. So being able to contact the guys and having that ongoing conversation to be able to go, we need this changed, we need this altered, or this needs fixing up, and them always being there to go, cool, we can do that, we built it, we know how to fix it, has been really, really helpful. We felt very informed throughout the whole process. I was kept up to date with information via email constantly. I knew I could pick up the phone to Callum if I had a question about something, and he was touching base with me constantly about things too. There was never a case where they went, oh, we thought we should do it like this, so we just did it. It was always, hey, this needs to happen, how do you feel about it, are you guys okay? The lines of communication were always open in the renovation. If I was going to recommend CJS to somebody for a specific reason, it would probably be the project management service that included all of the trades required. If somebody came to me and said they wanted to start a renovation and they didn't know where, CJS would be great for that. They were able to navigate the tricky things that come up when you take the linings off a house that's been standing for 80 years. The stuff you weren't expecting. They know their way around an older house for sure.